Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so sorry that I haven't posted in a while. Life has been a roller coaster and very crazy. So I believe the last I left off with you guys was my April TBR. So I'm just going to give you a little recap and a little wrap up, because it is November now, of everything, because I've gotten a lot of books since that video, and I'm actually going to get more tomorrow. Because Black Friday is tomorrow. I'm filming this on Thanksgiving. Anyway, so I'm just gonna give you a little rundown of all the books that I've read since April. I just haven't had time to film, and also I did not read it all of June or July. So, so I guess not this book, but the first book that I had shown you guys, I was in the middle of reading. It was The Selection. I believe I did finish that book, and I'm not sure where that book is right now. That's not in my room. It might be in another room, or I got rid of it. I think I got rid of it. I believe I rated that about 3 stars. And it's been a while. It's been many months. I'm not doing that month right now. Anyway. So then the next book that I read was 4 by Veronica Roth. I gave this book 4 stars because I love 4, and this book just it really drew me in and really made me connect to the character, but I feel like it could have, I think it had more of a storyline is what I had. Again, this was way back in May, so I'm kind of putting the pieces together, you guys. I did not rehearse beforehand, not like I ever do. And then the next book that I read was One Star Romance. I gave this one 4 stars. Actually, I think I gave 4 3 stars, and this one 4 stars. This book I thought was really good, but it was missing a little something. I couldn't really visualize everything, but it was still really good. It was, I think, very predictable, so I didn't jump into the story as much as I would have liked. Night of the Witch, I thought it was a really good book. I gave it 4.5 because I don't remember exactly what took off the 0.5. Maybe it was just missing a little bit of spice, but yeah, that was this one. It was still really good though. I do remember, I have pictures of me reading it because my dog was being funny while I read it. So I was really into it, so clearly I really liked it. And then I read Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, because if you guys have watched me before, I absolutely adore Fourth Wing, and I love Fourth Wing so very much. Onyx Storm I should be reading soon, hopefully. Iron Flame, I gave it 4.5 because it was not nearly as good as the first book, but it still felt like I was in a movie the entire time. And I understand when a lot of people say that this book could be this big, because just if the 2 main characters, Violet and Xaden, just talked. That's very true, but I did really like it still. Also, I really love Liam's little sister. I forget her name, but I love her. Okay, and then for 3 stars, I read Prom Chanted, which, if you know me, I'm a really big Disney fan, so I love reading spin-offs of Disney. And so this was actually super cute, and I just felt more I didn't really connect with it because it felt younger for me. So this would be great for middle schoolers, I think. Middle schoolers or younger high school. But this was super cute. If you haven't heard of Prom Chanted, it's pretty much about these kids. They absolutely hate each other, these 2, and they're planning to go to prom, and their prom tradition is to go to Disneyland. And then while they're at Disneyland, they get sucked into the stories that you see on I guess it's Disneyland, so Aurora's castle. And it's just so cool because they gotta work their way out of it. They gotta figure out the stories, figure out how it's gonna end, and fix it a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, I don't remember. But it was still really good, and I really recommend it. Then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Fun fact, so I went to basic training over the summer, so if you made it this far in the video, you got a little bit into my life. I went to basic training this summer, and this is the book that I was able to bring. Could not actually read it at my basic, but while I was at reception, I was able to read this in the barracks there. So I was able to read it a little bit, which is really nice, because my best friend loves this book, so it kind of made me connect with her. I love this story. I gave this, what did I say? I think 4 stars, 3 or 4 stars. Don't remember what I just said. I love this book. It's not my favorite, but I know it's my best friend's favorite. So it's really just up to people's opinion. But I did really, really like the storyline. The storyline was great. Am I getting the second book? I'm still on the fence about that one. Next is Love on the Brain. I believe I gave this 3.5 stars because if you know me, I love Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood is so great. I've read a few of her books. I'm trying to look like above you because you are my tripod is my bookshelf. It was not my cup of tea. There was a lot of I'm a sciencey girl. I'm not, and this really focuses on like space and engineering. I'm a biology girl. I'm not one of those. I'm not this. So some of the terminology, it didn't really make sense to me, and I don't really understand how they clicked, but it was really cute and I really did like that story. Okay, then I read Apprentice to the Villain. If you know me, I love Assistant to the Villain. I don't know if I've reviewed that book, but I love that book. And this book, I believe I gave it like 4.5 stars or 5 stars. I think this was 5 stars, 100% 5 stars. I finished this book so quick, and it was an amazing storyline. It felt like I was watching a movie the entire time. I was so engulfed in it, like I didn't even want to pick up my phone to be like scrolling Instagram or something. This was so good. I highly recommend the series. I didn't annotate this book, but I did annotate the first book. It kind of bothers me I didn't annotate this book, so therefore, oh well, I might have to read it again. Okay, and then I read Children of Blood and Bone. I believe I gave this 4.5 stars. This was a really good book. Some of the terminology I couldn't quite understand, but the adventure in this was so unique and so many different plot twists that I did not see coming. And it's very different from the other fantasy reads that I've read, just because of this. Not the story's different, but the characters are different. And I like actually looked up fan art for this, and it was like, oh, that's what they're supposed to look like. Okay, so I don't know. I'm so used to like how some other things work or some other fantasy looks that I was not used to this one. Also, what's really funny is I know people who know this author, which is they don't like know her personally, but they met her in like an elevator of a hotel while I was also there, and I was like, what do you mean that author's there? Anyway, I was shocked, but and a little jealous, especially after reading this. Very jealous that they met her. And then, please don't topple over. Okay, then on Halloween, I feel like this is very fitting, I read Sally's Lament. I finished it. This is so cute. I gave this a 4.5 because I have Sally for Halloween. Storyline was great. I love that Sally is like a badass queen. Highly recommend this book because it gives a good spin on The Nightmare Before Christmas. And if you really like that movie, you're really gonna like this because Jack is also involved in this heavily, and it's not just focused on her, it's more focused on the both of them. And I don't know, I feel like there's more of a relationship development than there is in the movie. I'm not saying this is better than the movie, but it's very close. And now most recently, I read The Outlast 6. I did DNF this. I gave this 1.5 stars. I know a lot of people love this book, but these are my personal opinions. I did not care for this book. Oh, what did I say I gave Sally's Lament? I gave it like 4.5 stars. I think I said that. I DNF'd it. I just figured out somebody dies, and I figured out who dies. And then there were still like 4 chapters or so left, and I was like, I'm not about to do that. I'm not that interested in it. The storyline's kind of hard to follow because it switches perspectives so many times, and it's just, I don't know if there's just a lot going on in my life, so I couldn't focus on this as much. But I don't know, to me it was just really confusing, and I couldn't picture the characters really well, so it was just not my favorite. So now on to what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading To Kill a Kingdom, and so far I'm on chapter 20, and it's so good. Definitely a 5 out of 5 right now because it feels like I'm in a movie. Also, can we talk about, we need more books that are based on mermaids, or like, can somebody give me like mermaid fantasy, because I have a lot on fairies and dragons. Like, I want a little bit more. Like, I love mermaids. Ariel was my favorite princess growing up. Somebody give me Mermaid Book Rex, because this is amazing. So, anyway, I hope you have a good day, good night, good evening, whenever you're watching this. And I hope you see me in my next video, which should be coming soon. Don't quote me on that, though.